This is Miss Poopy Duty Baltimore City. Oh, I'm sorry. Good evening. This is Miss Poopy Duty Baltimore City Tommy reporter for Channel 666 Eyewitness News. I know, long time no see from Miss Poopy Duty, I know. Many times Miss Poopy Duty would film something and then you could only see it months later. So today I decided to actually film something and make it as current as possible. And as you can see, how current can you possibly get, you know? So I'm not gonna say the C word, because we all know that in Corona Park, Queens is where you get the coronavirus. Anyway, I said the C word, oh my god. YouTube is now gonna demonetize my videos. Not that I ever was getting anything from it to begin with, because, you know, I never really got enough views. But thanks to all of you watching Public Access TV, I have enough views and I have enough emails and little messages that a lot of viewers send me. So thank you all for that. So I want to ask all of you, what have we learned when we've been watching the news lately? I mean, you've got your gloves on, you've got your yarmulke on. Okay, that was that was not a good joke. Oh, was it a good joke? It's actually pretty funny because, you know, really, if you have a little cap on your head, it kind of could be a yarmulke, like if I were a guy. I mean, it does look like that. I mean, it does. And that's how I'm seeing a lot of people wearing masks. You know, it's never on their face. It's like on the chin, it's on the head, it's on the eye. It's never actually covering the face in entirety and used the proper way. And I guess when they're done with it, it's just kind of lying on the floor somewhere. You know, same thing with the gloves. You find it in the parking lot, you find it in the shopping carts, you find it in the little baskets, you find it on the floor, you find it everywhere. So, of course, today's news, what should we talk about? Should we talk about the death rate? Should we just, I know, panic! Just panic! Oh, are you 6 feet away from me? I hope you're 6 feet away from me because I'm gonna panic! I'm gonna get a heart attack! I know what some of you are thinking. Is this the time to make fun of this? Is this the time to really make jokes? You know, I never really said I was a comedian, and I never said I make jokes. But to answer your question, would you rather die crying or would you rather die laughing? I mean, tell me, how would you like to die, you know? Would you like to be dying in a very majestic way where you're just laughing and you're just happy and you're laughing and then suddenly something happens and zap, you're dead? Or do you just want to be crying and crying? Oh, I don't know if these gloves are good enough for me. Oh no, my mask, and so I don't know where my mask is. It's falling off my head. Oh my god, am I 6 feet away from the person? Am I 6 feet? Am I 6 feet? I don't know. Like, oh my god, am I gonna die because I touched my face? Am I gonna die if I touch my face? Oh, of all the stupid things to do in your life, and now you're gonna be dead because you touched your face. So, if you're wondering why it is that my throat is, I have a little, before I started this video, I had a sneezing fit, mainly because the mask, which I can't find, I took this from the old costume. Do you remember the Russian Mafia super, how many masks that he wore? So I went into my costume box, I took it out, and I put it over my face. And boy, let me tell you something, when something is dusty, you're gonna sneeze like there is no tomorrow. So, yeah. And as for the Russian Mafia Super, the character you've seen many, many times, he is still there, he is still around, but as you know, it's a one-lady sketch comedy show, so things do not get made as fast as they can be, and I know I've been saying this for decades, but hey, ask yourself this. How many of you have been watching the sketch films that I've been putting out? I, as in Miss Poopy Duty. Miss Divine is not going to be too happy if she knows that you just want new stuff, but you haven't watched the old stuff, remember? You have to watch everything to be on top of the game. So, what was today's video really about? And is this really a video? Because it's technically going to be broadcasted on public television. So, what should today's TV show be about? Shall we decide about different ways we can panic? We certainly can. We can remove our gloves. Oh my god! The gloves have been removed. And turn the doorknob. But try not to get a heart attack when you turn that doorknob. You really don't want to die from turning a doorknob. or you could just wash your hands, or you can just put your gloves back on. You can go to the supermarket. You can buy hundreds and hundreds of rolls of toilet paper. So all of you quarantined at home and self-isolating yourself, I have to admit that self-isolation is great. There's nothing like 6 feet apart. You know, there's 6 feet under, you know, the time when you're 6 feet under the ground and then everybody really stays, well, kind of 6 feet above from you. Now, they're literally 6 feet horizontally away from you. Isn't that kind of nice? People just jump out of the way when you come walking by. You know, it's kind of interesting. Until you get mugged, because I hear that 300 criminals have been let out in New York City. But that's okay, because, hey, you know, criminals need to be let out, I guess. Anyway, so let's see what we're gonna do today. I've already measured all of you. Now, how far away are you sitting on your couch watching this show? Are you 6 feet apart? I don't think you are. You gotta move back, move back, move back. And also, let's talk about some quarantining. You know, that's an interesting word. I never thought about the the quarantining. I mean, how do you even pronounce this? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. As you can see, I'm quite congested, but no, it's because I had a little allergy issue with the mask. Because it was old and it was dirty and dusty. Yes. Believe me, I'm not diseased. I'm not, well, actually, I don't know. I could be. So let's find out. Let's make sure that I'm doing the 6 feet rule, folks. Let's see what happens. All right, folks, so this is a little bit of an issue here because it turns out that I could only be 6 feet away from my cat because you really don't want the virus to be transmitting to your pets. And I do not think this is 6 feet long. So we really have an issue here because the last thing we want is to have, you know, your loved one, you know, catch anything. And it's just good to measure, but it's clearly not enough. This is clearly not far away. That could be a problem. All right, back to the news studio, folks. All right, folks, so the takeaway here is that clearly it's very possible and extremely likely that you may not be exactly 6 feet away from your loved ones, and that could be a problem. So it's always good to measure them with a tape measure, and make sure that you're far away from people as much as possible. And, you know, I know there's a lot of people, well, that are actually missing human contact, which is interesting, you know. I mean, I never realized that in New York City, people can actually miss human contact. I mean, in a way, it's kind of nice to have no one on the road, you know. Because even in New York City, when you have hundreds of people walking on the street, do you remember all those times when the Zigzag Wanderer was doing her street improv on the streets? No one would really talk to her. Do you remember that? It was as if she was walking in a ghost town. In fact, now, it's almost the same thing, except you literally don't see people. So anyway, the purpose of today's segment episode, and you know what I'm going to do? I'm actually going to upload this clip before it airs on public access, just so I don't fall behind too much, because by the time I get around to editing, I don't know what's going to happen next, you know? Maybe we'll really be imprisoned in our homes. Maybe when we set out there, the police are going to beat us with sticks until the orange net over us, drag us back into the house. I mean, hey, you know, that could be possible. And then if we're going to have mandatory masks, I don't know where you guys are going to get your masks from, because if you're going to start getting fined for not wearing a mask, I might just be wearing this old thing so I don't get fined, you know? So, once again, this is Miss Poopy Duty, world's most determined reporter, and folks, remember folks, your views count. And what kind of donation can you give to me? Just watch the videos from start to finish. Money always is nice, but also more views would be nice if people could enjoy it. And if you don't enjoy it, and something in your heart is saying, oh, I don't really like this girl, I don't like the way she speaks, I don't like the way she talks, well, you know, it's too bad. Who really cares? Alrighty, so once again, the world's most determined reporter, reporting for Channel 666, the Eyewitness News. Just remember, folks, keep your mask on, but keep your eyes and ears wide open. Yes, yes, folks. Words of advice.